All right, so I got some capacitors in the mail from DigiKey, and I think you can see them here, the bright blue ones. So that one big capacitor that I showed is located down here. Of course, it's on the other side, but it's located down here. So the transformer's here, the rectifier tube is here, and then the inductor to smooth things out is here. So this is a pi network. So the transformer goes into the basically diode, and then it gets held on this capacitor, it goes through the inductor, and then it goes onto this capacitor. And that capacitor, these two capacitors used to be way down over here, a big length of wire that went between the two. I guess it adds more inductance, but certainly adds a voltage drop. Anyway, I've located them here, so they're in close proximity. So this is the 33. So this used to be a 30 microfarad and a 20 microfarad. And I've replaced the 30 with a 33, and I've replaced the 20 with a 22. So they're 10% bigger than they used to be, but close enough. The ones that they were exact match were way too expensive, and these should be just fine. So I've put those in there. So I thought I'd show you my dim bulb tester in action. This is one of the few times I would actually use it. And so I'll put this into test mode. So the current's going to be going through the light bulb. And if we turn the radio on, let's see here. Let's get that into camera. Okay, so there we go. So we'll watch the light bulb as we turn the radio on. And the light bulb is very bright. And I was worried about that. I thought, oh, there must still be a short someplace. But then if you watch it, it goes dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. And that's because what's happening is all of those, I believe this is what's happening, is all of the vacuum tubes are starting to warm up. And as the filaments warm up, then they don't need as much current, and the current goes down. So you see the light bulb is now dimming. So that's why it's called a dim bulb tester. If the bulb is dim, that means everything is good, right? So we'll turn this off. And now we'll bypass the light bulb. So now I flip the switch. So now you have a full voltage, full current going into the radio. And I don't think you can see it, but the light for the band came on, the backlight for the band came on. So that means our 6.3 volts is working. So all of the bulbs should be getting warm now. Okay, so the next test is, are we getting, I'm sorry, it wasn't pointed in there, was I? Can you see? Anyway, you'll have to take my word for it. There's lights here on the display. And so now what we need to do is see if we're getting any voltage across the capacitors. Now, if I take my voltmeter and I put it on DC volts, everything is now referenced to ground. So I've rewired the 110 to have an actual ground lead now, so the chassis is very safe now. And I can measure the voltage across this first capacitor, and I'm measuring minus half a volt. And I went, minus half a volt? Oh my God, everything's broken. The whole radio's dead. The transformer's not working. The thing's never going to work. Aha. But then I remembered, wait a minute, there's a standby switch. Now if I flip the standby switch, this point here now measures 289 volts. So the standby switch actually is a switch that enables the regulator to work, the diode to work. Otherwise it's not doing its thing. There's nothing going on. And once you ground that, then that's what this switch does. It grounds a particular point. Then everything starts to work again. So we have the correct voltages. So we have, trying to stay out of the way of the camera. So going into the Pi network, I have, well, it's going up. I've got 290, and out of the Pi network, I have nothing. Why do I have nothing? Oh, wait, I'm measuring ground. I'm sorry, this one. This is where I want to measure. That's the output of the Pi, and it is 262 volts. So the Pi network's doing its job. Everything looks fine. Now I want to measure if the rectifier, the voltage regulator tube is working. There's a 150 volt regulator tube. So I need to locate that, and it should be close by here, or it might be, I'm not sure. I think that's the diode, and don't touch anything, don't put your fingers anywhere. Very, very high voltages. Maybe it's over in here. So let me check the schematic and figure out that location, then we can measure, see if we're getting 150 volts. That 262 should be regulated down to 150 volts. So let's go take a look for that. Okay, I've located the regulator tube, the 150 volt regulator tube, and it's in this upper corner here. It's kind of tucked up under there. And so I will get my head in front of the camera and poke around in here, and it's measuring 151 volts. Perfect. 151.45. So, success. I say we have a working working system. Now I don't know if it's going to receive anything or not, but I think the next thing to do is to put some type of antenna and speaker on it and see if it makes any noise. Alright, so I've hooked up a speaker to the thing, and I've turned it on at minimum volume. The volume is also the on-off switch, so it is now on. And now I just need to flip the receive, and it makes a noise. And the volume knob does nothing, and most of the knobs don't do anything. This knob changes a little bit. This is the tone knob, so I'm going from Wi-Fi to bass. And then all other knobs do nothing. So, anyway, it makes noise. So I guess we should attack this as we attack everything, is make sure we can inject an audio tone, make sure the audio amplifier is working. It seems to be, although it's just giving out noise. So we need to inject a nice tone and see if we get a nice tone out. And then we need to go back to the mixer and see if we can inject some type of IF. And then finally work our way to the front end. I think that's the way I've done it before, and I will continue to do it that way.